Hello there, friends. I have the new Close to My Heart Essentials catalog. What is the Essentials catalog? Well, if you've been hanging around Close to My Heart for a while, you know they have seasonal idea books and they have a core book. The Essentials is the new core. This will be live September 1st, 2023 and go all the way through until next August of 2024. I'm going to take you on a detailed walkthrough of this book and we're going to play with some of the product. I have got some new 12 by 12 stencils. We're going to get those inky and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with what we made. So stay tuned for that. First of all, can we just take a minute to appreciate the simplicity of this cover? It's actually quite simple, but it's beautiful. As crafters, we love color, right? And this just really appeals to me. So let's dive right in. And I can't wait, for those of you that don't know, I can't wait to show you the new color of the year. There's a table of contents that kind of walks you through what's inside. And then we get into being a maker or being a VIP. I'll talk more about that as we go. But there is also here the Operation Smile. Now these are in the seasonal book as well. So if you are not already a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because my next video coming up is going to be a walkthrough of the new September-October book and you don't want to miss that. Operation Smile is a stamp where the proceeds go to this Operation Smile charity helping children born with cleft palate or cleft lip, and it's a wonderful organization and it's so good to help these children. So it's $7 of the proceeds go directly to the charity, so that's awesome. And here's how they've used it. So I appreciate that this is large enough to be a title on a scrapbook layout. When we turn to page 6, they have some scrapbooking and card making starter kits. If you've been hanging around my channel for a while, you may have heard me talk about cut above kits. That's kind of what these are. A lot of the work is already done for you. Everything you need is there. So these starter kits, you can get them with the whole bundle, with the album, the stamp set, and the layouts, or you can just get the layouts. So you can put this together really quickly. They're great to take to crops, and I actually have both of these, and I'm going to be putting those together eventually here on my channel. And then we have a card making kit and you get a stamp chamois, there's a tape runner, a little ink cube, a acrylic block, a stamp full of great usable sentiments, and then you can make all of these fun cards. And again, you can get the stamp set or just a starter bundle. But yeah, these are great little kits if you are just getting your feet wet or your fingers inky, we shall say, in the world of crafting. Now, this is super exciting. I couldn't wait to dive into this, and I already created a layout here on my channel featuring, actually, it's this layout right here. I'll leave that video listed in the description box below so you can check it out and see how this layout came together. I used different papers. It was a fall layout, and I absolutely love how it turned out. So these are called Make It From Your Heart, and this is volume 6, which is brand new. It's new to this book. There's also volume 3. I have that one and love it just as much, but the volume 6 has patterns for scrapbook layouts, double page layouts, single page layouts, and cards also. So we don't want to leave you card makers out. This is how those idea books come. They're a 6x8 size and they have the holes punched in there. And what is really, really neat about these is you have a quick, overview of the sketches in the front, and then you get into the layouts and they give you the cutting dimensions. They tell you exactly how to put it together. So what I really love about these is they give you the same layout and they kind of switch it up. They add different papers, different embellishments, and they show you a different creative spin on that particular project. So it's helpful to see, for a lot of us, it's helpful to see it come to life with different, papers and whatnot. And here they flip the titles. Let me show you this one. I really love this layout. So many great paper layers, and this would be a great one for scraps. But here they have the title in the lower left, and up here they put the title in the upper right. So lots of very, very helpful tips. And I store these in our 6x8 great albums. This is a faux leather album. I like to get black because it looks nice and crisp on my shelf. But you can actually, oops, we're upside down. You can fit a couple volumes in here. That's my volume 3 right there. And I also have volume 5, which is no longer available. But these are perfect for storing these idea books. Along with the idea books, they also have the Love of Color books. And we're going to talk more about this when we dive into our product demonstration, when we ink up those stencils. I'm going to show you the Love of Color book and how that can be very helpful in choosing the color palette for your projects. So this is a great resource to have in the crafting room. All right, are you guys ready for the color of the year? It is Journey, and it's gorgeous. This is Journey right here. This is what it looks like in the paper, and Close to My Heart cardstock has 2 sides to it. So you have the darker side, which is the true version, and then the lighter side of the same color there. So it's really like having 2 colors in one. And then they have all the goodies. So shimmer trim, which I'm going to show you this on my projects a little bit later today. This is like glitter paper, but it's adhesive backed. It's like a glitter paper ribbon. What's not to love? So we have the Journey shimmer trim. There is Gorgeous Sequins, which is kind of a mix of colors in this. You don't just have one color. There's white and kind of this little translucent color, and then different shades that all blend beautifully with the Journey color. There's a shimmer brush, which I don't have quite yet. Here's the ink pad, and Close to My Heart ink pads are very, very popular. If you watch a lot of YouTubers, even, you know, non-Close to My Heart people, you'll notice that they have Close to My Heart ink pads. They're magnetic, so they're super easy to open. They're a good size. The colors are beautiful, and the lid makes a tray. Do you see that? You can do all sorts of, you know, fun coloring techniques using that tray as a little palette there. And then last but not least, we've got Journey dots, and these are fun because you've got dots, hearts, and stars in graduated sizes. And then we have the Journey glitter gems and more sparkly goodness. You get 2 sheets of these, and they are also in different sizes. You get a large and a smaller size of the sparkly Journey color. Can you see the sparkles in there? I think you can. Yes, so pretty. Let me clear these up. I love that they have this beautiful color wheel here. But on the next page is all of the cardstock colors, and this is also the re-inkers and ink pads for all of the colors. And these are just nice staples, and as I mentioned, it's like having 2 colors in one. There's lots of new colors here. You'll see Jade is new, Royal, Rosy. Actually, I'm just going to get these out for you so you can see them. We'll start with the fall color since fall is sneaking up on us. This one is called Acorn. I think this is very appropriately named. So we've got the lighter side and the true side of Acorn. Then we have Pumpkin. I'm a big fan of orange, love blue and orange. Lighter side, darker side. And then we have Limeade. And I think this one's going to be really fun for spring and summer. I can see this coming in to play for my boy layouts. I really love it. So of course the lighter and the darker side. This one is Jade, and there's the 2 tones of that pretty color. Kind of like a nice deep rich grass color, huh? Oops, I got 3 of those there. This is Rosy, a nice vibrant kind of pinky tone. You see the difference? Yeah, you can. So light, dark, and then we have Royal, which is a beautiful purple. Very, very pretty. I cannot wait to see how they incorporate these into all of their paper packs. I do want to mention that Close to My Heart has customizable cardstock packs. So you can do a custom 12 or a custom 24 where you can pick your colors. So you have to get at least 2 of a particular color. But I love it. Back in the day, you had to get like a whole pack of 24. And I don't use, like, I think Rosy's beautiful, but I don't go through that color nearly as fast as I might go through Mocha or Sapphire. So I can get just a couple pieces of Rosy and just pick and choose the colors I want. So I think that when they made that change, I was super happy. I think it's great to be able to pick the ones that you use. You're going to love the next page because it is all about the shimmer brushes. These are really, really fun, and this is what they look like. And this is clear. It's my most used, and I love that they're labeled. So these are all the different colored shimmer brushes, and if you don't have any, I would suggest starting with the clear, and it's my most used, and you can just layer it over anything. In fact, I'll show you what it looks like. So this was a name tag I got from an event I attended, and I thought it was so cute, and I might incorporate it onto a scrapbook page, but they've used cardstock here, so I thought, you know what, let's just glitter this up. So you want to shake it really well, and I always kind of like to squeeze it onto a little bit of paper first, or you can get out your all-purpose mat and then just squeeze it onto your all-purpose mat so it won't absorb it, and then you can, scoop that up and keep using it. So when this dries, it just leaves behind some shimmery goodness, and hopefully this is going to show up for you here. Let's see if you can see that catching in the light. Probably not. The glitter paper down on the butterfly's wings is showing up more. Maybe when it dries a little bit. Oh, there, you can kind of see it there. It takes any cardstock or pattern paper and turns it shimmery. It's so pretty. I do get asked quite a bit, and I store my shimmer brushes brush tip up, and that way they're not going to leak. And I mean, some people store them on their sides and don't report any trouble, but that would be quite the mess. So I just store them brush tip up, and it works great. They have some new coloring tools here. These are colored pencils, and they are by Spectrum Noir, which the markers they've been carrying for a while are also Spectrum Noir. I've been using these for a while on my channel, and I love them. They did kind of reduce the amount of colors they are carrying just to the most popular colors. I have, the collection of both of the blends and the shades, and I really, really enjoy using them. There are 3 colors in one, and it's a light, medium, and dark, so you can get those like varied depths, and just I think it brings the stamped images to life. We also have colored pencils now in 3 different. There's the Bright and Vivid, the Perfect Portrait, and the Natural Landscape. I use the Bright and Vivid on a layout I created recently on my channel, and I was very happy with these. They're smooth and vivid, just like the title says, and they look great. I'll leave that video listed in the description box also if you want to check that out and see what those look like. So they also have the journaling pens down here, and the water brush. Water brush is great for painting with your stamp pad. So water brush it's like a little paintbrush, and you can put water in the barrel and you squeeze it, and it will moisten the tip, and it's just a really fun way to add color to your stamped images. So let me show you with the stamp pad here. If you squeeze the stamp pad gently, it's going to deposit color in the lid, and then you can use a water brush to pick up that color, and if you want to dilute it, squeeze it, add more water in there, and then you can paint your images with those inks. So you can do a lot of fun techniques with that. I do recommend that you wipe this up before you close it so that you aren't putting water into your ink pad. Close to My Heart has done a lot of fun videos on their YouTube channel showing this technique in action. Isn't that color so pretty? Let's see what's on the next page. Okay, we've got all of the enamel dots. These are kind of a staple in my room, and I really enjoy using them. I think this is fun, where they've just really made dots the focal point of these cards. I usually like to add them in my embellishment clusters, and I love that they come in all of the color palettes, but it's not just one color. So the reds, it's almost like an ombre effect. You've got the dark, medium, and light green. So it's pine, jade, and limeade. In the yellow, you have honey, butter, sundance, and pumpkin, and so on. So that just makes them really usable. But aren't these fun? So just cheerful. Love all those cards. Here is more, again, we have the color of the year in our glitter gems, but there's also clear, and then the bitty sparkles, and our shimmer trim. The shimmer trim is that adhesive backed shimmery ribbon I showed you in the beginning. Then we have sequins and gems. These little jars are not sold, they're just there for to make it look pretty, basically. Now these are new. They have titles and shapes, and they show them in the faux wood grain, but they come in all the different colors, red, pink, and so on. You can get a bundle where you get all 9 of the styles. So these are the shapes and these are the titles, and you can see that here's all the different colors. These are acrylic. I'm actually going to show you these. I don't have the shapes, but I do have the titles. So I got them. There's the wood grain and then the black. And I really thought these were great because titles can be tricky on your scrapbook layout. At least they are for me. And it's so nice to just have these to kind of throw down on your scrapbook layout. So you can see what they say here. Memories, happy, the best, life, days, and then there's the inner portions. We have the outer portion of life and the inner portion, sweet, every, enjoy. So you can mix and match these. You can go happy memories, the best days, the best life, sweet life, all sorts of different combination. You can happy days. So these are, and you can color these. You can ink blend over the wood grain ones. They're paperboard, so they're nice and thin, but yet they're sturdy. We have the same thing in the black. So this is how they come. They are easy to store. I just keep them in their own little bags in a bin that I can kind of flip through. And then the acrylic titles come in little bags like this, and they are going to say the same things. So you'll notice here, this is the one that's the E from life, and you can just pop out the inner portion. So with the word life you get 2, and that's kind of fun. You could back this with paper or just leave it kind of open. Here's the F. So you have all of the same titles that I showed you in those, the faux wood grain. Oops, I'm turning my light off. Sorry about that. But just a little bit different look here. And here is the I. So there's life with the outline, and then obviously we would have the inner portion, and then all of these other pieces are going to spell out these. And I've mentioned this before on my channel, but Close to My Heart acrylic is very thin, so it is not going to have all these bumps and lumps on your projects. You get the texture and that fun look of acrylic without the bulk. On the next page, you have the glitter paper. Now these all come in 12 by 12. So there's the Journey is new, and then Rosy, and then of course they have all of the classics. White, black, silver, gold, and I love Pine and Scarlet for Christmas time. They're so pretty. Seabrook and Mist, they're all gorgeous. So there's the, again, those come in 12 by 12 sheets. And these are irresistibles. These are really fun. I'll be showcasing these here on my channel in the near future. They are papers that have like an emboss resist, and you can ink blend over them to reveal the pattern. So you can make your own. You choose the ink color, and these are really fun because if you don't have, you're like, oh, I need a pattern paper, but I don't have one in the right color, you can make it and reveal the patterns. You can see here, this is like a sprinkles, and then leaves, daisies, stripe, a plaid, and hearts. So very neutral patterns that can lend themselves well to a lot of different memories that you might be documenting. You can see how they've inked them up in all sorts of different ink colors and used them on that layout there. These are kind of some essentials, hence the name of the catalog. We have white envelopes and cards in the A2 size. There's the 5x7, slimline. These are the journaling strip stickers, which are really cool. We've got craft paper, and then 12 by 12 acetate sheets, and then calendar. And look, do you recognize this layout? That is from the new Make It From Your Heart idea book, the volume 6 book. They've used it to create a calendar, and these are always fun gifts. And then you can take that 12 by 12 page and tuck it right into your scrapbook after you've enjoyed the calendar for the year. I have used the journaling strip stickers a few times here on my channel. They're these long stickers, and there's a couple different widths on there, and you can just cut them. You can do all your journaling and then cut them up, and it makes super quick, easy strip journaling. and they're really fun. I like to take these. I like to type my journaling out quite a bit. These are really nice to take to crops, or if you just want to add your handwriting, which I highly recommend. It is important to do that, even if you don't like your handwriting, which I don't, but we got to put it in there anyway. It's a part of us, right? Now here are the stencils. This is very exciting to me. I love stencils. I think they're a great investment for the craft room. They're relatively inexpensive, super easy to store. They don't take up a lot of room, and very easy to customize. So what's really fun about these is these three come in a bundle, and then you have these three in a bundle. And these are stencils that you rotate. And I'm actually going to show you this in action and then show you all the projects that I'm going to make with the paper we'll create. This one I absolutely love. Let me hold it up for you. So we've got bricks, and then there's like a ruler, little measurements there, a clock. You can make there's the hands of the clock, and then life is measured by moments in time. I can see making an entire layout using just this stencil. You've got your title, you've got background elements. I mean, so many cool things on here. Then you have some patterns on this one. You've got a giraffe and the elephant, wild and free, and then several different animal print patterns. And this one, I don't know if you can see that, it's a border of different footprint tracks. So that's really neat. And then some layered florals here. So you can see there's the leaves, and then you can stencil the veining over the top of the leaves. And this looks like a tulip to me. And you would layer this one over that. So when you can layer stencils like this, it really kind of adds that dimension and brings them to life. You can stencil them right onto your paper as a background, or you can stencil them and then cut them out and use them as an embellishment. But let's go ahead. I'm going to set this catalog aside and let's play with these stencils for just a moment. I have my all-purpose mat, a sheet of white daisy, and then one of the rotating stencils. I have selected papaya, green apple, and honey butter. I'm going to use a little bit of low-tack tape to secure this stencil over the top of my 12 by 12 sheet of white daisy. We'll just put maybe one more down here. Starting with the papaya, I'm going to ink up just this pattern in the upper left corner. I'm going to rotate the stencil 4 times and use the papaya ink all the way around, and then I will clean it up and switch to a different ink color. Now I used that Love of Color book to pick these colors, and some of the colors in the earlier version of the book are retired, but you still get the principle and can find similar shades. Now we're going to rotate this 90 degrees. You'll notice that the flower in the middle, we created like a little piece of the pie, so to speak, and now we're going to fill in the second half of that. It will eventually, when you turn it all 4 times, it will make a complete circle. I thought it just made sense to go around with the same color rather than switching each time and cleaning up your stencil in between inks. I've rotated that again. Now you can see we have the third piece to that corner circle there, and you don't really have to be careful. Nothing is too close to where you're going to worry about inking up one of the other portions of the pattern. So this is our final 90-degree turn, and it lines up very easy. This is super simple to line up. So let's go ahead and cover these remaining bits with our papaya ink. It's so fun to see this come together, isn't it? Now that I've completed this pattern, I can go ahead and clean off my stencil and switch to the next color. You know, it even looks good just like that. I decided to use Journey ink rather than green apple. I thought, you know what, this is the color of the year. Let's create with it. I'm using the second largest circular pattern on this stencil. It kind of reminds me a little bit of a dandelion, but these are kind of fun. They're just, it has like a party type feel to it, doesn't it? So again, I'm going to repeat the process, rotating the stencil 90 degrees each time, only inking up this particular portion of the stencil with Journey ink. Think of all the different color combinations you can create with this. I'm thinking pink and black, and maybe even a little like silver glitter gel. Ooh, that'll be really pretty. I'll have to try that one. So now we're on our last quadrant here with the Journey ink, and then we can move to the honey butter. Again, I'm cleaning up my stencil in between, and again, that looks really good all on its own. So we're moving to the third smallest pattern on this particular stencil with honey butter. I really like using the soft blending brushes for stencils because you don't have to worry about them catching on the edge of the stencil, lifting it up, or anything of that nature like it might happen on a sponge. It just gets into those delicate areas really nicely. I did jump ahead a little bit because I think you guys kind of get the gist of turning it 90 degrees each time. Now, I actually debated leaving it with just the 3 colors, but I thought we've got one more pattern. Let's try Lagoon. And spoiler alert, I kind of wish I didn't use Lagoon. It looks okay, but if I had it to do over again, I would have done this tiny pattern in Journey and just stuck to the 3 colors, or maybe picked a different color. Again, it looks okay, as you'll see, but I would not choose to do this had I had it to do over again. So there's the big reveal. Da, 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 da. I have created several cards using that background paper, all featuring I played up our color of the year Journey. Now these cards are simple. I didn't want to take away from the background. So there's 7 cards here. This one I have cut on an angle and then added Journey some background splatter, and I have used one of my most used stamp sets to create this look. Let me get it and show you. This is Background Elements, and it's a collection of what we like to call controlled splatter. It's seriously one of my best friends in the craft room, and this is his buddy, Perfectly Imperfect Patterns. I use these two a ton. So I have used this particular splatter stamp and added some background interest in this white space, and we've added a few of those Journey sequins. I've stamped the hello sentiment here, and if this is still available, I will list this in the description box below. It's a really nice little stamp that says it's called hello, but I love the scripty font, and you can mix and match the words hello sunshine, hello friend, just a note to say hello. So it's kind of great if you are a card maker. So that is the first card I made. And then we have this one. Here you can see that Journey shimmer trim. I've used the same background element splatter stamp to add just a little background detail on the card there. I've stamped thank you on a circle, layered it in a larger circle in the Journey, and then added a few of the sequins. It's kind of fun to have a whole card set like this all in one color. This is one of my go-to card patterns. I really love it. I think it's simple and fun. It's a great way to show off that pattern paper. Simple circle. I've cut those into strips. I think they're 1 1/4 inch by 4 inches. Finished off the transition with the shimmer trim, added that same background stamping, and a simple thank you. These would make fun birthday cards too, wouldn't they? Very festive, I think. Here's another one. We've used that same hello stamp. I've used a piece of Journey cardstock, cut it into a banner, and then added some stripes with the shimmer trim. Isn't that pretty? So it's kind of this tone on tone and custom stripe pattern paper using the shimmer trim. So I thought that that was really pretty. We could add a few sequins if we wanted to on there also. Here is another one. Now if you remember the first one, I cut this on an angle. So that was one whole piece. And then I used the other angle over here. There's our background splatter. I've added a circle just to kind of spotlight our sentiment. And then this is called the Thanks die. It's a layering die, and I love cutting these. I just have a bunch in black and white because it's classic. You can use it on just about any color palette, but I think that black and white really pops against the vibrant colors on the background. Now this one here, I have added a little bit of splatter. This is this splatter stamp from Perfectly Imperfect Patterns. I wanted a small splatter stamp. There was some kind of open white space on our background, and I wanted to fill that in just a little bit. So I used a small splatter stamp stamped in the Journey color, and we've got our shimmer trim and then a simple hello sentiment. But I really like how that filled in some of that white space without cluttering up the pattern. down. I thought that looked really good. I've got one more card to share. This one I've stamped Hello Friend, so a simple piece of journey. Then we've just cut a little rectangle of our background, and then I took a couple stitch circles and I stenciled right onto the circle. So I selected a circle that was slightly larger than the stencil shape and then just added a few of those journey sequins. But I thought that that was really cute and fun how the circles kind of are. And I popped those up on foam tape, so there's just a little bit of dimension to that card. So it's kind of fun to see. We've made that, great background paper, but then you can see how you can bring it to life. And I still have some scraps too. I could make probably 2 more cards. I just stopped at this point. I got interrupted, but I have more scraps, so I'm definitely going to finish these off and make a few more cards and from this sheet, and I'll basically have used up the entire 12 by 12 sheet. I thought this was going to be a super quick video, but I got excited and just had to share that with you all. There's more stencils on the next page. Now these are geared towards card making, but you can definitely use these for scrapbooking as well and just make a column like this. These slim lines would make a great pattern to make like a strip, down. They're probably like 3.5 inches wide roughly, and you just layer them down to create like a border on your scrapbook page. So you can see how they have used the leaves here, and then there's the hearts, and the hearts there's only half of a heart, so you do it twice, and that way you can do it in 2 different colors. You can see they've used 2 different colors. There is like a greenish color and kind of a teal color to get that look, and then they have the little florals here, and it looks like this one. So this is a bundle here, and this is a bundle here. It looks like these might be, I'm looking here, they are. Those are the centers for these flowers. So you see how they have the stenciled center, so you can do 2 different colors. And it looks like they've done some ink blending. They've started with yellows and then kind of worked into the pinks for different tones on the background. Slimline cards, and these layer. You can tell that those all layer to make different, layered designs that you can add in different colors. And then this beautiful intricate design, and then we have the leaves and kind of like a little diamond pattern on that one there. So I did get all the stencils. I just can't help myself. I love stencils. Now we're getting into the digital art. So these are all individual little files, and this one here would be a bundle. So number 11, yes, you can get the whole digital art bundle. It's only $10, and it gets all 10 SVGs. And those can be cut on your Cricut, your Silhouette. They're not specific to, it's not like a Cricut shape, it's an SVG. So you just download those onto your computer, upload them into your cutting software. I have a Cricut, so I use Design Space, but these are great. I love this one. Definitely going to be using that adventure title there. And you don't have to use those colors. You can change out the colors of the paper. You can make that black and white, or you can make it reds. They're very, very customizable. Here we have our basic circles, and this is a set 3 inches down to 1 inch. I think circles are a great die to have in the craft room. These are thin cuts that you can use to create shaker cards. I use them for different things, but you can see that they have the foam to pop them up, and then you can fill them with the different sequins and things like that to create some fun shaker elements. I like this one. I like how they put just a little shaker behind the sentiment. And do you see these patterns here? Those are the irresistibles that we talked about earlier, where it's an emboss resist. Actually, all of these are. Those are the irresistibles they've used to create those backgrounds. So here we have more of our basics, the acrylic blocks, stamp chamois, intense black, and archival black ink. I do get a lot of questions about these. I reach for my intense black ink when I'm coloring with my markers. This will not bleed when you let it dry. It's alcohol marker friendly, and you can color and it's not going to reactivate the ink. Archival black is the deepest, richest black, and I use that for most all of my stamping if I'm not coloring it. So that's the main difference between those. And then the stamp chamois case, I do have that. And this is, you just wet this each time, and it sits in here like this, and you can just clean your stamps off. And then this has holes in it so that it won't kind of mold or mildew. This lets it dry, but it's protected in case you throw your paper on it, which I have done, not closed, and then it wicks up the moisture from the chamois. So the case is nice and it's pretty too. We have our VersaMat. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know this is something I use every time I craft. We have our cutters, micro tip scissors. The darker blade is non-stick, which is nice for cutting the shimmer trim or foam tape. And then this is the regular blade. The T-square ruler that clips onto the side of the, it's a magnet. So you have like a little ruler, and then you have this one that is 14 inches long, so it does reach all the way across your scrapbook page, and it attaches by a magnet, and then you can kind of clip that onto the side of the VersaMat to get a straight edge. More tools. We've got this is a pickup tool. It's a wax pencil, super handy for picking up sequins and small bits like that. So you can see again why they're calling this the Essentials. We've got liquid glass. There is masking tape that's low tack for stenciling. There is the Tombow tape runner, which is what I primarily use. Close to My Heart did just launch their own. I did get it to try it out because I want to be able to give you an honest review and see how that goes. This is a gum remover eraser. It's a rub and remove eraser, and if you get adhesive where you don't want it, this will clean it right up. It's very handy. You can use that on your desk or on your paper, and it'll take up that adhesive. These are the albums. There's the My Legacy albums. These are post-bound albums, and then you have the Everyday Life. These are D-ring. You can get these My Legacy in D-ring also. I like the post-bound album for my permanent albums, and I have D-ring for my work in progress type albums, and they're both nice. They both have their benefits. And this is the little 6x8 album that I store my sketchbooks in. And I was going to show you the Love of Color. Speaking of these little albums, I mentioned the Love of Color books earlier when we were I selected my colors for my stenciling. This is, it's a book just like the Make It From Your Heart idea books, but these have the ink colors in there. So this one, like the featured colors, Ruby, which is a retired color, but they show you coordinating colors that go with it, and there's even little artwork samples. So there's the Ruby featured with Sweet Leaf, Fern, Almond, and Toffee, or Ruby, Mink, and Charcoal, and just lots of ideas. I know many of us find it challenging to come up with color palettes, and this is a great tool if you struggle. And plus, look at these. Isn't that card pretty? And these layouts are great too. So that is what the Love of Color book is. You just go to the selected color, and you would pick the, you can grab the coordinating colors they recommend to go with it. We're almost to the end. This is the memory protectors, and all sorts of different sizes. There is 6x8 and different styles, and different styles are post-bound and the strap system. On the 12x12, there is an 8.5x11, and then pocket pages as well. So depending on your style of scrapbooking. I've showed these quite a bit on my channel. We've got flip flaps in different sizes, and these are the Pocket Plus pages, and you can see here, and in fact in a recent video I just used Design 4 and showed that in action, how you can use that to make an interactive element and add more photos. This is the Workspace Wonder system, and I use the ink trays in my craft room. If you haven't caught my craft room tour video, I will have that listed in the description box below. But they're stacking units, so you can really mix and match all of these pieces to fit the space you have. I have mine under my shelf, so I can only stack them 2 high, but if you have maybe less space this way but more height, you can stack them up 4 high, or whatever fits your space. And they're really sturdy plastic. You can get the different trays to go on top. They have paper trays, and there's even like an ink carousel. If you want to have like a mini carousel for all of your inks, that is an idea. Here we have stamp and paper storage envelopes. I've actually showed on my channel, again in my craft room walkthrough, my craft room tour, I showed how I store my paper in these. I do have stamps in these. These are great for the mini stamps. And this is new. I don't have it, so I can't show it to you, but here it is in action. And it's like a spinny acrylic tower that you can put different things on and have it right on your desk. I do like that it's clear. I think that looks nice and tidy, and it will go with, you know, any craft room color scheme because it's clear. This here is like a page protector, but it's divided, so you can like put thin strips or the branding strips or things of that nature in there. Now this I did get, so let's check this out. They call this the desktop tool holder, and this is kind of this rubbery insert here, and it's pretty heavy, so it's not going to fall over. This does pop right out, and I don't know why you might, I thought maybe you could hide stuff under there. Secret candy stash? No, there's not room for any Ghirardelli chocolates, sorry. It was worth a look though, but these are flexible and you can just kind of pop your tools in there and it keeps them upright, and you can kind of just, these, I would use this, or I'm going to use this for my most you know, used tools that I grab all the time. This is a paper piercer. That thing is lethal. If you guys have a paper piercer, I'm sure you've stabbed yourself with it a time or two. My little embosser, but you guys get the gist here. Different size holes, and you can see that that holds them tight. I can tilt it over and they're not going to fall out. But this is kind of cool because you could pull the scissors right out of the little case there and then just pop it back in. I like it. I think this is going to be a big hit, and it looks nice too. It matches my craft room. Just a couple pages left, guys. Do you have any must-haves? I know I do. This is the travel system. So they have totes and little stamp holders. You can use them for other things. So if you go to a lot of crops, then this might be something of interest to you. And then in the back here, they have a page dedicated to the monthly specials. Now this gnome paper is actually a special that's live right now. It's not going to be in here all year. They're just kind of showing that there are monthly specials, and you can scan the QR code and it'll take you right to them. This Gnomes for Autumn is available through the end of September. It's a very beautiful fall paper, and I have already used it here on my channel. So there is a little bit more that goes along with this. There's this thin cut gnome. She's super cute. Chelsea over on her channel did a back to school layout. Well, actually it was for a back to school collaboration, but it was a reading layout of her daughter, and she put this gnome together. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. If you see it in the catalog and you're kind of like, meh, I don't know, go watch her video, and I think you'll change your mind on it and be like, okay, I've got to have it. At least that's what it was, a Chelsea made me do it moment. And then we have a stamp set, the Gnomes for Autumn scrapbooking stamp, and then this is sentiments for cards, and then these really cool cork shapes. I have these and I've been using them a little bit, but they're adhesive backed, and they just add a really cool texture to your layout. Little leaves, oak leaves and maple leaves in different sizes, and again they're adhesive backed, so you just peel that off. But yeah, this is where you know, again, this is just the month of September. So even though this book goes for the whole year, you know, if you scan the QR code, it'll take you to the current specials. Alrighty, what do you guys think? Are you excited about these stencils? Let's bring those cards back in, and we can just end on a note of crafty goodness here. It was really fun to just play with these colors and create this. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on Journey, the color of the year. Do you love it? Do you like it? Do you not like it? I don't see how you could not like it, but you know, I guess not everybody has the same taste in color. I think it's beautiful. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Again, hit that subscribe button if you are not already a subscriber. You don't want to miss the seasonal catalog coming up very soon, plus more crafty inspiration for your scrapbooking and card making projects. Thanks for hanging out with me, and have a wonderful day. I'll see you very soon here on YouTube. Bye for now.